What's up, everybody? Damon here, and in today's gaming news, Highguard is off to a rocky start. Sounds like the PS6 is still several years away, and Nintendo Switch Online is getting Virtual Boy games. This is your Daily Fix. Highguard launched last night as planned and met with big Steam concurrents, but also a flood of negative user reviews. The free-to-play PvP raid shooter was the big new game reveal at the end of last month's The Game Awards. But developer Wildlight then went dark until the game's January 26th release date. Highguard hit a peak of 97,249 concurrent users on Steam, a significant number for any new game launched on Valve's platform, but Wildlight will be particularly concerned by its mostly negative user review rating. Currently, just 32% of the 14,500 user reviews are positive. While some of the negative reviews revolve around PC performance problems, most criticize Highguard's game design and question some of the decisions made by the developers. Chief among the criticisms is that the size of the map feels too big and empty for a 3v3 competitive shooter. You're able to summon a mount to get around faster. The mounts are one aspect of Highguard that players seem to universally like, but some players believe a 4v4, 5v5, or even 3v3v3 mode would have been a better fit. There are complaints about the resource gathering phase of each map too, which involves what some are calling boring mining and loot farming. The gist here is there is too much downtime and a lack of excitement, although players seem to be enjoying the raid phase of each match, where combat is concentrated. There is also criticism of the playable characters, which are differentiated only by 2 abilities each on a cooldown. Some are calling Highguard's visuals bland as well. Indeed, the top post on the Highguard subreddit reinforces this sentiment. "I'm sorry, but this is boring as f***," it reads. "Gathering is boring as f***, looting is boring as f***, 3v3 with short TTK is boring as f***, no PvE is boring as f***. The only good thing in this game is the f***ing horse mount. What were they thinking?" Yesterday, Wildlight talked about Highguard's first year of content already being in the works and outlined its roadmap for updates. It's making all the right noises about being in this for the long haul. As a free-to-play game, Highguard's success will rest on its ability to get as many people as possible to continue to play the game. As we've seen, live service is a particularly brutal space to be in, so it will be interesting to see if Highguard can improve this launch sentiment and maintain interest in the months ahead. Moving on, a recent analyst report has suggested that Sony may push the launch of the PlayStation 6 beyond 2028 and lengthen the PlayStation 5 lifecycle. Ahead of Sony's third quarter financial report, due on February 5th, David Gibson, senior analyst at MST International, published a Japanese language report giving insight into the Sony Group's current performance and potential next moves. According to Gibson, Sony's earnings for the third quarter are expected to exceed forecasts, with strong sales of first and third-party games driving growth. He also noted that game and network services, including PSN subscriptions, are set to remain strong. Q3 sales are predicted to total around $11.6 billion. Gibson said, "Sony expects the PS5 lifecycle to be longer than that of previous console generations. There's a high likelihood that the PS6 launch will occur after 2028. One problem that is facing console makers this year is the rising costs of components. Memory is in high demand because companies like Nvidia and Google require so much of it for their AI chips, with a CNBC report pointing out that these companies are the first ones in line for the components. This will likely push up RAM prices and have a knock-on impact on both console retail prices and availability." And finally today, Nintendo Virtual Boy games are headed to Switch and Switch 2 via the Nintendo Switch Online subscription service next month, including 2 titles that have never been released before. Nintendo's infamous VR console, the Virtual Boy, will join Nintendo Switch Online on February 17th. A grand total of 7 games will be available at launch, with 9 more to follow at a later date, including Zero Racer and D-Hopper, which never got a public release back in the day. However, not only will you need a Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscription to access Virtual Boy games, you also need a dedicated Virtual Boy accessory to view their stereoscopic 3D visuals. You have 2 options here. Either the standard Virtual Boy accessory that Nintendo is selling for $100, or a cheaper cardboard alternative that's priced at $25. At launch, you'll be able to rewind gameplay, create save states, and remap controls similar to other Nintendo Switch Online platforms. In the future, you'll also be able to change the screen's color as well. There's no word on when further games will arrive after the Virtual Boy's February 17th arrival. For now, here's the full launch lineup and what to expect down the line. On launch day, you'll see Galactic Pinball, Tellero Boxer, Red Alarm, Virtual Boy Wario Land, 3D Tetris, Golf, and the Mansion of Innsmouth. And Nintendo says these titles are coming soon. Jack Brothers, Mario Clash, Mario Tennis, Space Invaders Virtual Collection, Virtual Bowling, Vertical Force, V Tetris, Zero Racers, and D-Hopper. And that's your Daily Fix for Tuesday, January 27th. Right now at Humble, you can get Humble Choice for just $14.99 and score a curated bundle of PC games for January, including Sonic Frontiers, Tomb Raiders 4 through 6 Remastered, Hunt Showdown 1896, Etran Odyssey 2 HD, Nice Day for Fishing, Metal Slug Tactics, Settlement Survival, and Wizard of Legend 2. This month's choice is available through February 3rd, so head to humblebundle.com and start playing today. I'm Damon Hatfield, and for all your video game news, stay tuned to IGN.